Hello everybody, welcome. Sneaky Chiefy here, bringing you Game 3 in the Juicy 45 Battlegrounds quarterfinals matchup between top member PoinDexter in red, playing as the Japanese. He's up against B in blue, playing as the Vietnamese. The map here is Shaded Pond, and first two games went to PoinDexter. If he wins this one, he advances to the semifinals. It's been a very interesting series so far. Shaded Pond is a map I have not played before, but obviously you can see there's a lot of fish to be had in the middle. Well, a decent amount of fish to be had in the middle. Yeah, there's a good chunk. But there's a ring of trees, not many, just two, protecting them. Other than that, there's a lot of wood around the outsides, and starting food resources and maybe a little bit more than standard. 2 elephants, plenty of extra goats, and some hunt to be found, and then gold and stone in surplus supply all around both bases. Now, again, I'll say I like the corner position from red a bit better than being in the middle of the map that blue is, just because it's a bit easier to protect and there's a lot of wood that can be had in the corners. Red choosing to wall or drop his first lumber camp along the edge right away rather than cut towards the pond with his first lumber camp. You'd expect the Japanese player to prioritize fish, but this lumber camp in the long run will be much more efficient. So we'll probably see his second lumber camp maybe over here, probably over here, I guess, from red to start cutting through. Vietnamese, obviously great archers. The anti-archer is the special unit in the Rattan. They also have the Imperial Skirmisher tech in the Imperial Age, though I doubt we'll get to Imperial Age. We'll see. So if the Japanese, who also have good archer line, they could be up against a challenge there with the Vietnamese. But the Japanese are also good at infantry, which honestly favors an archer civ as well. So probably advantage Vietnamese, though if the Japanese player can get through to the water and use that fish boom, it'll be pretty tough to stop. And the Japanese knights in Castle Age are about as good as you could hope for, though they don't get paladin or anything like that. They can hold their own in Castle Age with knights, so we'll have to see how this one shakes out. B in blue is fighting for his tournament life. Red is looking to end this as he's gonna lose this villager, unfortunately. He tried to quick wall that elephant, de-aggro it, but we saw this happen in game 1 from PoinDexter. He ended up winning the game, so not the end of the world, but he's already 2 villagers behind, which is never what you want. He's probably shaking his head like, what the heck? Is what it is. Blue in this tournament has consistently kept the population advantage. Now there's been some slight deviations from that, but for the most part Blue's done a good job in keeping his villager outcome steady. And here we see it happening again, but Blue has struggled in Castle Age really against PoinDexter. Another close save. Oh, there it goes. Loses one. Those elephants hit hard, man. So both players losing a build to the elephants. It's 15-17 now. So the advantage not quite as big as we see red walling off with a barracks, houses, and a few palisades already. And I like red driving in the ostrich as well. Might as well. It's good food income to bolster your economy. Absolutely. I noticed red's got a neutral elephant. So here's one neutral elephant, and here's the other neutral elephant. Much closer to red, though I doubt he'll find that quickly. But it is something to note. There's also 5 relics on the map scattered around, 1 in the middle, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 elsewhere. As we see blue coming forward with militia again. Something he did in the last game to really no effect, but we'll see what he can do with those militia this time. The map's animals have been more effective than militia in this series so far for both players as far as KD ratio goes, but Red will not be fully walled when these militia come. But luckily for Red, Blue accidentally attacked the wall there. Red does have Loom now, so he can take a fight with villagers against the scout. And great quick gate there from Red to keep the militia at bay for now, but they will get through. There's just too much on this side to fully wall. And Blue's using his scout rather well right now, though Red scout is right there to support. And Red probably smartly sensing the pressure, making militia of his own. And the Japanese militia will be more effective. They attack faster, just as the civilization bonus. Red clicking up to feudal age with 22 villagers. Blue is at 25 villagers. Great snipe on the scout from Red, who will look to... Oh, nope. Lost his scout as well, so a trade. Red quick walling in his wood villagers. Not quite in time, however, and he'll need to run away. This one is weak, so we'll see if he can get to safety. I don't think he will. Oh, he will. Lucky him. Okay. So crisis averted. Drush still hasn't killed any villagers, just scouts so far. Blue's at 28 vills, still hasn't clicked up to feudal age. So it looks like Red will not focus on the fish. He's sending his next lumber camp back. Maybe because he realized he's not fully walled yet, and this is a bit risky. Maybe he feels that the fish aren't worth it. I don't know, but... If Red gets really creative, he could gate in these militia. A Hera-style wall-in. Now that would be awesome. Archery range going down. Japanese probably going for the archers, despite the Vietnamese having a decent counter. We'll have to see how it plays out. I also noticed that Red has not used his militia. I mean, he made them, he might as well use them. But... double archery range from Red. Blue going heavy on gold right away. He obviously needs the extra gold after making the militia. Red on gold as well. It's a shame for Red, his main pile is rather exposed. Now Red is using his militia to protect his production villagers. Red looking to bait the blue militia into the TC fire, fails to do so. It's 3 militia to 1. So Blue doing a good job on this Drush so far. He hasn't killed anything, but he's causing a lot of ruckus and idle time. Being really annoying. Let's see if these turn into men-at-arms. I don't think they will, but... Back at home, Blue is building his own archer range. 2 of them, in fact. So we will see an archer battle here in Feudal Age. And a crossbow battle in Castle Age, I'd imagine. But... ultimately, Red will need to be very wary of the Rattan archers. The Vietnamese have a eco bonus in that their houses cost less wood. So that can be helpful, but Blue is going heavy on wood. 15 to Red's 11. So Blue will probably have a surplus, but losing all his militia is Blue now that the archers are on the field. So Red will stabilize. He'll look to wall this off again, most likely. And he's moving forward with his archers. So I like the early pressure from Red. You know that you are in feudal faster, so you probably have archer numbers, at least for now. And he'll look to get as much value out of these archers as he can. Now, these 2 armies might just pass each other. We'll have to see. Quick glimpse, but I think that went under the radar, so to speak. Fletching in for Blue. It's not in for Red, so that's a big advantage indeed. Red accidentally attacking and alerting, and Blue now thinking about coming back. Yeah, he'll will he come back or no? I don't know. He's got numbers. Red dives in, which is the right play. Blue deciding not to attack, which is probably good for red because he still has a lot of walling off to do. Red knowing he needs to slow blue down in some way or another as well. Good snipe on the Vil there. Let's see how his micro is. There's no fletching. Okay, red does have fletching now, so there's a numbers advantage. 4 to 5. Red will just look for some villagers maybe. Not as good micro from red there. Good job from blue taking those archers down. Now red will probably just dive in, see what he can see. Maybe snipe a weak Vil or two, but there's none to be found. All the weak ones are dead or elsewhere. They're over there in the gold, but blue cleans it up. First fight goes to blue. This delay was helpful for red though, as he was able to fully wall off in the meantime. And walling off on this side as well. Great job from red. Next, I still think he should go for the pond, so we might see a lumber camp right here to do just that. But we'll have to find out. $35 for red, 40 villagers for blue, 10 army to 12, so still a slight advantage. It's all archers on the field. Red now has padded archer armor though, so that'll be a huge help. He can take the fights. Padded archer armor on the way for blue. So if red can pounce on this and get a few kills quickly, almost gets one there. It'll really come down to micro now. It's a bad fight for red. 14 to 11 is the army. Red continuing to lose archers here and there. That's another good fight for blue. I like that there's a skirmisher in the mix for blue as well. Six to 10 is the archer composition now. This gate will go down, and blue will continue to apply pressure as he should. Yeah, now red mixing in a few skirmishers, which is absolutely the right call. There's a lot of weak ones in there though, so if blue can find them, that's a better micro from red. Good job from PoinDexter. Now, clear advantage for red. Maybe not a clear advantage, but he's able to hold off the attack for now. Forward villager coming up for blue. A weak one, too. A third archer range coming in for red. 40 to 47 is the Vil count. Blue is on his way to Castle Age, or will be soon. Selling wood and buying food. Red thinking the same thing as he's preparing a market. So yeah, it looks like a third lumber camp coming in the back. Red is not going to, at this point, red is not going to go for fish. Which makes you wonder why even pick Japanese. There's plenty of other archery civs like Mayans that he could have gone for, Vikings. But maybe he's got other plans for them. Who knows? I like the confidence from red, though. He's got no problem moving forward with an army and seeing what he can see, but he's about to run into a much bigger army. So confidence isn't always a good thing. Quickly turns around. He's got a lot of stuff back here. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to move forward, you might as well move forward with everything you have, but oh well. Army numbers are 14 to 13 in red's favor. And now we see all those skirmishers come into play big time. And that's a horrible fight for blue, as you didn't notice. And loses a lot of his army there. 15 to 10 now, and blue comes back. So it's just kind of a cat and mouse game at this point. Blue's fully walled off on his side, working on walling off the other. But for the most part, both players sticking to the left-hand side of the map. The shortest distance between their town centers. Now, while all that was going on, blue did click Castle Age, as did red just now, but blue will have about 2 minutes on red. Red will probably turn right around when he sees blue hit Castle Age here. We'll see. There's a bit of a window here where red can take a fight that's in his advantage, but if if he's not careful, he could lose all of this as soon as crossbows come in for blue. And it's not far off. 10 seconds now. And the Vietnamese also, all their archers have more HP. So 36 HP to... Let me find an archer. Now crossbows in, so this is what I was worried about for red. There's still a lot of skirmishers in there. And red's doing a good job microing. Red's going to try to focus as many crossbows as he can. But he will lose his entire army, which you never want to see right before you hit Castle Age. You never want all your archers to go down. But all things considered, it's a pretty decent trade. Red still has numbers because he's been building his army back home. Now Bodkin arrow coming in. No crossbow yet, though. There's the crossbow. And now blue coming forward with his army to see what he can find, as well as dropping a second town center. Red dropping his town centers more conservatively. It's a good spots for it, I think. It's still a shame that he doesn't have access to this gold. He'll need to figure that out sooner or later, but red is clearly in the lead on the tournament, right? He's got a 2-0 advantage, so I see red playing a bit conservatively here. Something, honestly, that he had been doing in the other tournaments. He knows that blue likes to be a bit aggressive, or at least last game he very much was. So red looking to just play the defensive advantage and boom up as much as he can behind this, though he's way behind in villagers now, 45 to 54. That'll change now that he's getting 3 TCs up. Forward Siege Workshop again from blue. Kind of inefficient wood chopping from blue at the moment, but down goes the palisade gate. 20 to 18 is the army size. About even again. There are a few regular skirmishers in the mix here that red will need to be worried about, but the tech is better for red as he's got padded archer armor already, so that'll make a big difference, though the blue HP bonus should be taken into account as well. Yeah, this is a better fight for red. That extra defense is better than that HP bonus for sure. Red doing a good job prioritizing the tech. So if you look at blue's resources, he's got all the food and the gold he needs to get padded archer armor. He chose not to or forgot to, and that was a horrible fight for him as a result. That and fighting without the mangonel, you almost had a mangonel out on the field. Like you should only engage when that mangonel is there to support, because that is something that you have that red does not. No Siege Workshop at all. And red will need to think twice about his strategy when he sees a mangonel out on the field as well, and another one coming up right behind it. So, good play from blue to get the mangonel in the Siege Workshop, but if he had padded archer armor and had attacked together, it could have been a very different story. As we see a third town center for blue coming forward, so blue looking to take solid map control. And we see knights coming out now for red to snipe this mangonel. He had a stable already, probably thinking knights the whole time. It's a big hit, so that he can address mangonels. Good micro from red. These are a lot of weak archers though, because there was a good shot from that mangonel before it went down. So still pretty even. Let's take a look. KD's very even, 54 to 59. Eco KD is 1-to-1 for red and 0-to-2 for blue from the Elefantes. I say slight advantage to blue though, because of the Forward Siege Workshop, because, well, the vills are even now, but the map control for blue is a bit better. Though I like red's army composition better. Knights and crossbows versus siege and crossbows. So, could be interesting. 16 to 9 is the military count. Looks like blue might be thinking Imperial Age, as he's got a ton of food. Red getting bloodlines, couple idle vills on that gold mine. Red may consider deleting this barracks as it's getting in the way. Good army control from Red to snipe these Scorpions though. Blue was going to drop a castle and thought better of it. He's only got one weak villager. No, just one villager there. There's the castle. So Blue looking to solidly take command of this map. Where's Red's castle? Looked like he was going to build one, but... No, Red's got no stone. Red has not relied on castles. I haven't seen PoinDexter build one at all, ever. Bringing the knights around to raid on the other side, which is going to be a really good idea because it's not walled off. So he could kill a lot of these wood choppers. Now Red's buying stone for another TC, so he will not, PoinDexter will not be going castle. Now the Japanese have a great tech in faster firing and impacting and moving trebs, so castle might be in the cards eventually. Certainly you want the castle for tech like conscription. But looks like Red will just use crossbows. Very confident with the crossbows. We've seen it time and time again. And Blue, realizing something's up, decides to wall off. It'll be just barely too late unless he drops a quick gate. Sanctity coming in for Blue. So Blue seeing the Knights going with the Monk defense. It's a great call. The Knights do get in and will get a Vill. But that alerted Blue, which is not ideal. Blue reacts with the gold miners. And if Red's smart, let's see what Red sees. He's a bit distracted at home too. He doesn't see those lumber camps yet. Red microing down the Scorpions. He's got a knight or two in there to absorb archer fire. So he'll probably clean this up. And that one villager castle will go down. But Blue's got to worry about what's at home and building a barracks for pikemen. Let's see what Blue sees. He probably sees these knights still. Red doing a great job going to the wood line. I love it. Let's see how many he can find. Do they not have loom? Or is that just the power of the knights? No, they got loom. The knights are just so strong in raiding. There are a few pikemen out there that are from Blue, which is huge. Red also sitting under the TC, which is not ideal. But Red on his way to Imperial Age now. '88 to 86. Blue could click as well and probably should. Blue's got ballistics. He's got bowsaw, heavy plow, and wheelbarrow. Red missing the second upgrades, but he's got handcart. Imperial Age on the way for Blue too. So, for the first time in the series, we will see Imperial Age. I still don't see a siege workshop or a castle from Red, though it looks like he's just going to expand out to the right, which is smart. There's Bowsaw. It's very smart to do this. He's finally going to get stone. He'll need it if he wants to win the game. Rat and Archers coming out, which is fantastic play from Blue, and the proper one when you've seen so much Archers from the Red player. Now, PoinDexter's smart enough to know that Rat and Archers is a thing and a strong possibility from the Vietnamese player. So, what does he go for? That's the question. Japanese cav are okay, but they're not the answer in Imperial Age. So, this is when the Civ advantage is clearly on the side of the Vietnamese player. And not to mention, just even one monk is enough to scare off a few knights. Red is really missing this gold pile though. He's about to lose his second, or run out of his secondary piles. Luckily he's expanded out because he found this one, and there's another three square pile there. There's a 3 square pile there, but losing out on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pile is huge. Especially if you're going a composition of army of trebs, you know, knights and archers. So Imperial Age coming in, Arbalaster coming in. We're gonna see the Rat and Archers come out. Already there's 4 trebs on the way. don't think red even knows the castle's there. No, he knows it. He knows now. He lost it to the knight. It's a horrible fight for PoinDexter, that's for sure. Red will walk around. Snipe scorpions. Luckily he kills them in one volley for the most part. But here come the Rattan Archers. And the Rattan Archers have 6 pierce armor, a base of 4. So this could be a 4+3 situation. And yeah, they do extra damage to archers as well, if I understand correctly. So we see the Arbalaster army just go down so quick once the Rattan Archers become a factor. And Rattan Archers will trade well against Samurai as well, just because Samurai aren't the best against Archer Fire. Though if the Samurai do get up and close, they will destroy the Rattan Archers, but the Rattan Archers can outrange them and kite them along. Red looking to get this gold if he can. Red does have Bracer, where blue does not, and that'll matter a lot. The extra damage helps him, but the range even more so. A lot of trebs out in the field though. Red forcing up a castle, but it's basically just a target for the trebuchet. I don't know, this is looking really good for blue. Red has boomed up behind this very well. He's got a 20 villager lead on blue at the moment, but he won't be able to keep this castle up even long enough to get one trebuchet out. Not even long enough to get conscription, as we do see husbandry and iron casting coming in, so it will be cavalier. It's proper play, but there are going to be monks on the field, as well as halberdiers. Actually, do Vietnamese get halberdiers? I don't know. Pikemen for now. And blue effectively keeps red off his main gold, which is so annoying. And these 4 trebs will do so much work. No university. Cavalier going around. There's the university. I was going to say, we start to see some things like ballistics already in. But maybe increase the HP of your buildings, because we see these trebs just do so much damage to that town center. Luckily he's got 3 more behind it, but Cavs will dive in to kill these trebs, but they're pikemen that he needs to worry about. Though blue did a roundabout attack, so looks like these trebs will go down before the pikemen. At least 3 of them will. It's an expensive raid, but probably worth it from red. Though the one treb's still alive and keeps working. Meanwhile, stone walls from blue. Very smart idea. Though if red hurries, he can break through. Doesn't look like he can, and it will, unfortunately. So blue in solid command of this game at the moment. Looking like they'll make it a 2-1 game, or 2-1 series. More archery rages coming in, maybe for skirmishers, though Rattan Archers trade very well against skirmishers. So looks like red will go with skirm and cavalier. The numbers aren't there. Red trying to dive in on the trebs, it won't work. Blue doing a great job protecting. It's a pretty solid army composition for sure. Red might want to just be a bit more patient before diving in with those skirms. Leaving with these villas, which is great because there's 27 of them. So they'll have to walk through the army, which is unfortunate. Oh, that's sad. I mean, at that point, delete a house or 2. All those villas go down. Red does get in, though. There was a bit of a hole. This is huge. If anything, is going to distract blue from the battle in the front. This is a lot of cavalier. There are pikemen back here, but these are +2/+2 cav. The amount of damage that blue's doing is certainly higher. The vil count is 117 to 108 and dropping for blue. Red can get really effective raid going on here. It might change things. This castle is great placement, but this hole was really where it was was the issue. More barracks going down at home for blue. These pikemen now coming into play. Man, blue is just ransacking red space. Now we do see elite skirms with fully upgraded, so they'll do okay, but the rat and archers is just really effective. There's not a lot of them though. So if red can focus down the skirmisher, or focus the skirmishers on the pikemen and use the cavalry on the trebs, you could staunch the bleeding. And that's the plan so far, at least. Red also exodusing out to the right and finally chopping through to get some fishing eco going. One treb down. Red still has the population numbers, though the raid is cleaned up in blue's base. Blue just has so many resources, all this stone, and he's going to even start taking red's main gold, though. It's a tough uphill battle for red. His win condition at this point really is cavalier and skirms, and he needs to expand out to the right big time. If he can do that, as he is doing, if he can do that while stonewalling off this side here, he'll be okay. There's not much army left with blue though, as the trebs are getting cleaned up and pushed out. And PoinDexter has got plenty of gold, which is great. He needs food, and he's going crazy expansion on the right. I love it too. Stables. If he can get the fish boom going, maybe just hussars. Hussar spam. Though it's such a shame he never got any of this gold. PoinDexter. What a great game from these two players. Blue not looking to get swept in this quarterfinal, looking to get back into this series with a civ advantage. Japs versus, I should say Japanese versus Vietnamese. We're coming up on an hour in the game. And red will trade skirmishers for rat and archers all day. Trouble is these trebuchets. Not much that red can do about the trebuchets at the moment. It's almost through on the wood line. It's a shame he dropped it on the corner, because the corner's got 3 tiles versus the sides, which only have 2 tiles. But now we see red trebuchets coming out finally as he gets a castle that's not under attack. And he's finding more gold, which is great. I don't think he's seen this one yet.
90.
Yeah, he doesn't see that pile. Really unfortunate, but it's how it is. And as long as red keeps blue's focus on this side, it moves even more villagers out, which is great. I would love to see stone walls from red on this side. And it's a scary mass of skirms. And here come the light cav. Here comes the treb. Japanese special tech. I don't think he's researched it yet, but it makes them fire, unpack, and move faster. So those trebuchets can be devastating. You see blue with some light cav as well. Skirmisher numbers starting to fall though, because scorpions are a great play from blue. He continues to make them. Not to mention the light cav. Red trying to get in as fast as he can. It's a lot of trebs and a few cavalier, and we'll see more skirms. So red doing a great job surviving. And holding on the left somehow with just skirmishers, really. Light cavs are chipping away at these numbers though. And again, blue's got all this gold, all this stone, which was red's, thanks to this castle creep that we saw. What a great game this is. Both players giving it their all. The whole map is populated. As I said, this is the first time that we've seen Imperial Age. Yeah, he's got the unique tech now because these trebs are firing very quickly. And red finding the blue's gold or stone mine. So kind of a base swap. Well, not full on base swap, but there's gold here too. Four tile gold here. Red trying to break through. Does he get through here? He has gotten through, but there's pikemen in the way. A few skirms behind this would be really helpful. But on this side, he's holding. It's still, I'd say, advantage blue. The score is about even. And it still is anyone's game, though. I still think blue's a better position just because he's got access to all these resources. Though red has the villager lead still. And he's going for a defensive castle to just stop the pressure. Maybe get a few trebs of his own to push back. So now it comes down to which player can micromanage on two fronts at the same time. I'd like to see a few more TCs from red throughout all this. So far it's been lumber camps and mills, mining camps and things, but this castle will be epic. It'll allow him to get PoinDexter to get some trebs out on the field, which he badly needs on this side. Just holding with skirms. This side it's trebs and light cav. We might see a few skirms as well. But the castle on this side is being really effective, as blue seems to be struggling on focusing on both fronts at the same time. Last version's now coming in, which would be huge. In general, just some poor trades on that, though. Cavalier against pikeman there is no good. If red can break through, there's a hole here, so if red can start streaming in cavalry, that would really disturb blue's attention. Red got some cavalier here to jump in on these trebs, which he'll do so soon, I'd imagine. Still no trebs from this castle. I think it's here really just to protect from any kind of raids. One treb down, two trebs down. What a game! Red's moving in with his skirms and trebs here, and is about to take out his first TC of the game. So the lack of access to halberdier from the Vietnamese player definitely coming into play here. Maybe like the general, a bit more flexibility from the Japanese civ means that the civ is not such a mismatch as maybe originally expected. Blue has a ton of stone, but is also out of gold. Though he has all these gold miners still, and another castle. So using, and he still could drop two more if he wanted, so pretty amazing. So now can red push on this side. There's a defensive castle for blue. And look at this, these wood choppers, and even still stone back here that can be taken, but blue fighting back with villagers even. And there's a mangonel. Good shot by that mangonel. And we'll see another one taking out skirms. Blue doing a good job using siege to his advantage. And the villagers killing trebuchets. Love it. Blue converting a skirmisher. Blue continuing to make trebs. Both teams focusing more on offense than defense. Although, as I say that, like, both fighting for their lives at home. The mangonels and siege in general are working out for blue big time, as he's taking out a lot of these trebs. There were about 5 of them. Now there's only 2. But the cavalry's coming in now. No dock yet from blue or from red. But he will. Red will lose this castle as we see another blue town center in the middle of red's base. Right where the starting TC was, and another castle as the creep continues. And this is when it gets dangerous. Once this wall goes down, which it will, we could see some cavalry raids, but blue dropping in bills. It's 158 to 113 and 14,000 gold. Or wood, 14,000 wood. Amazing from red. These trebs just looking for a target. These rat and archers looking to kill something. Blue setting up in red's base, and we have a full-on base trade here shortly. All we need is a red TC and blue starting location. Oh, what a game. Over an hour of play now. Red finding gold where he can. This pile is going to come in very important, but 16,000 wood can easily be sold for a bunch of gold. And some Cavaliers really will make a difference, or even just Arbalasters. Now Red fighting back, he's got 160 vills, so he can afford to lose 10 as he takes out Trebs. What a game this is! Both players really want the win, I'll tell you that. Oh man. Yeah, and the fact that Japanese don't get Hussar, or at least they haven't teched into it, is definitely coming into play. Missing the last armor upgrade for the Cavalier, or for the cavalry is the Japanese, but it's only 104 villagers to 126, so the advantage on vills is still in Red's favor. Blue light cavalry are completely unupgraded. They have forging and that's it. Red's done a lot of damage, though blue has plenty more back here. Red losing another TC to these trebuchets. Losing more vills, 117 to 104. Which player can be more stubborn? As we see blue's got 1,000 gold banked up. Red finally finds this corner, which is huge. But blue running out. I think that's the last gold that blue has access to. I don't know. I think it's still anyone's game, honestly. And here's the stone walls that I wish had gone up a bit sooner, though. With the Trebs out in the field, they won't last long. I'd love to see these cavalry raid these exposed Rattan archers as the skirmishers are taking out blue vills. 85 to 109. These raids from red have been super effective. Super effective. Neither player willing to quit. Red, after finding this gold, after seeing how much he's taken over from blue, thinking that he still has a chance, and he absolutely does. But the question is, how can red take out all these castles? Here come the light cav on these Rattan archers. Red's down to just this last TC as blue finds it. he's got villagers just sitting under the TC here. 64 to 102. So red, he could build more town centers. He needs to kill these Trebs. That's really what it's coming down to. Blue needing to buy food, because blue needs food badly for more villagers, for pikemen, for skirmishers, for cavalry. Blue doesn't have any, and he's using his precious gold to buy it. Red, on the other hand, has plenty of wood to sell for more gold if he needs, and he's got 1,000 food. And blue calls it. What a game that was! Incredible! Despite losing map control, despite losing his TC, despite having blue build a TC on red's starting location, red boomed, expanded around the edge, and somehow found a hole through here, was able to get a castle and break a small little hole here, and just raided the heck out of blue's economy. Man, what a game. What a game. Well, congratulations, PoinDexter. You've made it to the semis. If it's half as exciting as this, it'll be well worth a watch. And I got to give credit to B as well. He played his heart out throughout this tournament. I saw some great games from him in some of the other matchups, and he certainly showed his worth in this last game. I mean, it's tough to say what he could have done differently, because he took out so many buildings, he killed so much of what red had, but red was able to boom and ultimately take up more map than blue did, and find those gold piles where he could. At one point he had 14,000 gold that he sold, obviously a lot of it to get, or 14,000 wood, and he sold a lot of it to get this gold, which would have gotten some cavaliers out. But yeah, it really ultimately came down to the raids, like which player could hold on at home while raiding the enemy better, and that ended up being red, as we see the final vill count is 100 to 60. Incredible. Red had no TC, had one TC left. And that being said, blue didn't have much TC left and had like 0 food. So, just incredible. What a great matchup between these two Asiatic civilizations. Japanese versus Vietnamese. In Game 3, I'm going to go ahead and click this here. PoinDexter, congratulations again. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Sneaky Chiefy signing out, and I'll be back with the next one.